The topic for this video is the thesis statement. And the thesis statement really is one of the most important parts of writing a good paper. So in this video, we're going to walk through what it is and give you some strategies for how to write a good one. Because you want to get a good thesis statement down early because this will help you structure the rest of your paper and help keep you on track. So let's start with a straightforward question. What is the thesis statement? You hear your teachers talk about it all the time. I just told you it was really important. What exactly are we talking about? And it's not that complicated. You make thesis statements all the time because you're doing what the thesis statement is supposed to do. You're providing an opinion or an idea that you have that you are going to explain. So if we step back from that general definition and think more specifically about what's going on, we'll see that a good thesis statement has two components, and you always want these two things present in your thesis statement. The first is an answer to the question or topic that you're writing about. You need to give an answer. You need to state a position. And then you need to provide good reasons for your position or for that answer. It's that simple. It's an answer and the reasons for the answer. And I always told my students there's a very straightforward formula you can fall back on if you're having trouble coming up with a good thesis. You don't have to use this formula, but it's a good way to structure those two key elements. I believe X because of A or AB or A, B, and C. The X is your position or your answer to the question, and the A or the combination of the A, B, and the C, those are the reasons that you have for that answer. If you feel stuck, write this out and then say X equals, that's whatever your answer is, and then write down your A, your B, and or your C, and write out what those things are. And from those pieces of information, you can compose a good thesis. So the first part is that opinion, that X as I like to call it. So let's look at a practical example from my life. I grew up in Denver and I always watched the Denver Broncos during football season. So let's say I'm out with friends and we're watching a game and the conversation turns to who is the best football team ever. I might say, well, I think the Denver Broncos are the best football team. I'm giving an opinion. I'm stating my position. That's the first part of my thesis statement. That's the X. I believe X. I think the Denver Broncos are the best football team. The second part is to provide the reason or the reasons for that opinion. So I might add, well, I think that because John Elway is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, that would be point A, and they have won multiple Super Bowls, that would be point B. Position and reasons for that position. That's how you build a good thesis statement. So let's bring those two pieces together to see how easy this is. I think the Denver Broncos are the best football team because John Elway is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and they have won multiple Super Bowls. I have my position, I have my reasons for the position. The formula is always going to work if you get stuck. So if you need help, fall back to that formula. Write down your X, write down your reasons for that position. Here's what it can look like in outline form. And I often encourage students to do this just to get their brains in the habit of breaking out their thesis statement into these two parts to make sure that they have everything they need in a strong thesis. When you're writing your paper, plan it out like this. Fill in your answer to the question or what you want to say about the topic you've been assigned to write about, and then give the reason or reasons. That simple. Again, if you have those pieces of information, you can then combine them using that formula I just gave you. So let's say we're writing a paper about banning cell phones in school. Here's how you would do this exercise. Start with the answer. In this case, we're going to say cell phones should not be banned. And then give a reason. Well, students need them to communicate and access information. Here's my answer. Cell phones should not be banned. And here are the reasons that I think that is the case. And when we write that down in outline form, it becomes very easy to combine those pieces of information into a good thesis. Cell phones should not be banned because doing so would deprive students of the ability to communicate with their teachers after school and access study resources on the internet. I state my position in slightly different language here, but the point is clear. And then I give two specific reasons for that position. And that's all you do. If you outline those two key pieces of information, you just combine them like this, and there you have a strong thesis statement.